gonna say first of all, I don't give a
Yeah, I get it.
but I give a because
Try to make it bad.
put you as a person.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Before, okay, let's just say before all that happened, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say before all that happened. Bro, I'm listening to you, Ross. I feel like you wanted to.
Hey!
Shut the f*** up!
I'm listening to you, Ross. I feel like you probably one of the best lyricists from the South that we got. You dig what I'm saying? Like, you poetic, bro. When I listen to your music, I think you put a lot of time and effort into these.
Next time I come for free, at least have me some lemon pepper wings. Stop at that. You heard me? But I came for free. I ain't charging. You feel me? Don't talk about Rose other business. I came and did that for free. And what is the analytics? How the show doing anyway, man? I come back on it, and when I'm gonna walk off that the next time, and this bitch say, Rose, was I been? Of course.
Be mindful. You may never know who knows somebody, who kin to somebody, who saw what you posted. Because you gonna have to stand on business. Rouse, big homie. First of all, you know it love. Second of all, I got to call a spade when it's a spade. You say you did it for free. Everybody do it for free.
Deeds and Ross, we say good boys, okay? They gay. Two, both, Eddie and Ross.
The whole scene flipped in seconds, and anyone watching could feel this wasn't some lighthearted live stream moment anymore. DC Young Fly's whole vibe shifted so fast, the energy in the room snapped like a switch had been hit. 1 minute, everybody was chilling, cracking jokes, cameras catching smiles like it was just another regular night, and then boom, DC locked eyes with Rick Ross and the whole place got tense. You could feel that shift straight through the screen, like the air got thick enough to grab. It was that type of moment where you know someone finally hit their breaking point, and the second DC leaned in and fired off that "you're a fraud" line, you could tell everything changed instantly. The building didn't just react, it erupted.
I came to your podcast. I came for free, homie, no charge. I did it on face, homie. I didn't ask you what your analytics was and this and that. I came on face, homie, to show love. And don't make it like I walked off on you. I left early. Rose had some other things to do too. But guess what?
People started yelling, phones flew up in the air, and half the room stepped back like they didn't want to get caught in the middle of something getting real. Meanwhile, others rushed forward because they knew they were watching something wild unfold right in front of them. Every single face in that room looked locked in, like nobody wanted to blink and miss what came next. Rick Ross tried to keep that calm boss expression, rubbing his beard, shifting his stance, looking around like maybe someone on his team would slide in and help cool the moment down, but nobody was stepping in tonight. The situation was already way past that point, and DC came with a whole different type of intensity. It wasn't playful, it wasn't for laughs, it wasn't for content, it was pure frustration spilling out, and the crowd felt it instantly. People online later were saying DC wasn't arguing at all. They said DC was telling his truth. He wasn't arguing, he was revealing, and the whole crowd caught on instantly, because every time DC raised his voice, people reacted like he just landed a clean hit in a championship moment. It was that type of energy where the room doesn't actually go quiet, but the focus gets sharp, like everybody is waiting to see how the other person is gonna answer back. Every eye was locked in, every phone was up, and the tension felt like it was shaking the air itself. Ross was standing right there in that pressure, and even though the building wasn't silent, it felt like thousands of people were waiting on him to come with something strong, and he had nothing solid to throw back. You could see it in his body language, that hesitation, that little pause, like he was trying to process how fast things shifted.
You know what I'm saying? You know, so it's just.
But then you
We can have those debates.
Templar was off the chain.
I mean, but I like the way you followed up hustling with pushing it. Like, how did you know to come right back on there?
You got to.
Right.
Man, just don't take the foot off the gas.
People who were sitting close said they noticed DC's whole energy changing way before he snapped. They said he was brushing off slick comments Ross dropped earlier, trying to laugh them away so the night wouldn't get messy. But anyone paying attention could tell something was building. DC kept letting those small things slide, not because he was intimidated, but because he didn't want to mess up the vibe for everybody watching. But then Ross must have said something that crossed that invisible line, because when DC finally reacted, he didn't hold anything back anymore. And even now, people online are still arguing about what set it off. Some swear Ross said something off mic that wasn't caught on camera. Others think DC was tired of Ross moving around like the whole event was centered on him alone. And start. Whatever the real story is, DC's reaction came from something genuine, and everyone in that room felt it the second it happened. When Ross finally tried to talk, it didn't make any impact because the crowd didn't let him get a single clean word out. The noise exploded instantly, bouncing off every wall like the whole place had been waiting for DC to say what they'd been thinking but never said out loud. Some people were laughing in pure shock, like they couldn't believe anybody would check Ross so directly. Others were locked in watching every tiny movement from both of them like it was some major highlight moment playing out right in front of their eyes. And Ross looked stunned. Not upset, not confused, just flat out stunned. It was that look someone gets when they realize nobody has ever spoken to them that boldly before, especially not someone as naturally funny and high energy as DC. Even the live stream chat went wild. Messages flying across the screen so fast you couldn't read one before 10 more dropped instantly. People were typing things like DC snapped and Ross wasn't ready non-stop, like the whole internet caught a spark at the same time. But the wildest part was how serious DC sounded. His voice didn't shake, didn't crack, didn't slip into jokes. He was planted in every word, speaking with that tone people use when they're done pretending everything is smooth.
Press room one time and I'm gonna take this jacket off.
Let's do it.
Yeah, you can't.
Man, stay tuned.
You can't take your foot off for nothing.
All gas.
Oh, I'm talking about for life.
And that's when DC started laying out patterns. Not rumors, not gossip, patterns people always brushed off. He started hinting at Ross showing up late, trying to take over the room, talking over folks, bragging about wild stories that never really add up. DC didn't break it down step by step, but he threw out just enough for everybody in that building to start connecting their own dots. And the crowd reacted like someone finally said what had been floating around for years. Security started creeping in slow, like they couldn't decide whether to step between them or step in front of Ross to shield him from the embarrassment he was sinking into. You could see the hesitation in their movements, like nobody wanted to be the one to interrupt a moment that was already blowing up bigger by the second. Ross tried that little nervous grin he does when he doesn't know how to bounce back, but that only made the crowd react even harder. People could tell instantly that he didn't have a strong comeback ready, and every second he hesitated made the room erupt louder.
Bros, big homie. First of all, you know we love. Second of all, I got to call a spade when it's a spade. You say you did it for free. Everybody do it for free, Rose. You ain't the only who did it for free. T.I. do it for free. Mr. Ryan did it for free. Snoop Dogg did it for free. Everybody who sat on that couch do it.
Every time Ross tried to get a word out, the crowd screamed right over him, swallowing his voice before he even finished the first syllable. And DC kept firing lines like, "Stop acting like you're above everybody," and they see through that now, which sent the room into a whole new level of chaos. The energy flipped into something electric, and the crowd fed off every single word DC dropped. Ross never even got the chance to take control. The moment wasn't his anymore. DC had the entire room locked, and nothing was shifting that. Backstage, people were peeking around corners, trying to hide their reactions, whispering and holding in their laughs because they already knew this clip was going to be everywhere by sunrise. Someone even said the floor was shaking from how wild the crowd went. Staff kept trying to signal DC to calm down, waving their arms, pointing toward the wings, trying to get his attention, but DC wasn't listening to anybody. His eyes were locked on Ross the whole time, and nothing was breaking that focus. That stare DC had was sharp and locked in, letting everyone know this wasn't about attention or trying to go viral. This was personal, and the whole room felt it instantly. He stood there dead serious, and every second he stayed focused on Ross made the crowd get even louder, like they were feeding off the pressure building between them. By the time clips hit social media, the reaction went crazy. People were arguing if the whole thing was staged until they saw Ross's face. That look alone told the full story because nothing about it felt scripted or rehearsed. It was real, raw, and loud enough to shake every corner of the internet. After that first explosion, the room stayed tilted, like nobody could drag the energy back down no matter what they tried. DC stepped away for a moment, moving like he was trying to cool himself off, but you could tell he still had more on his chest. Meanwhile, Ross tried to puff himself back up, straightening his jacket, fixing his stance, attempting to slide back into that big boss persona he always shows online, but the crowd wasn't buying it at all. The second he opened his mouth, people were already buzzing, waiting to see if he actually addressed what DC had just dropped, or if he would try to skate around it like nothing happened. He pushed out a line trying to sound confident, but his voice didn't carry the usual weight. made, it sounded tight, like someone trying to stay balanced while everything around them is shaking. DC stood there with his arms crossed, giving Ross a stare that cut right through whatever image he was trying to rebuild. You could feel the silence from Ross and the pressure from DC, locking the moment in even tighter. And when Ross tried calling DC emotional, the crowd reacted instantly. A huge mix of gasps, laughs, and shouts hit the stage at the same time, like everyone felt that line missed the mark the moment it left Ross's mouth. People started yelling things like, "Answer the man," and talk about what he said. And Ross looked tense because he realized the crowd wasn't backing him the way he expected. Even the live stream chat was roasting him in real time, flooding the screen with messages like Ross deflecting and DC got him talking in circles because it was clear Ross wasn't touching the real issue at all. He kept trying to act above it like he was too important to respond, but DC wasn't letting him slide on anything. DC stepped right back in and said, "Stop playing with people's time and respect," and the room blew up again with noise. Then DC started laying out exactly why he reacted the way he did. He told Ross that he walks into every event moving like he's the one running the whole place, treating people like background props instead of actual talent. Folks backstage were nodding like DC was finally saying what they've been whispering about behind closed doors for years. And when DC pointed out how Ross always makes everything sound larger than life, the stories, the claims, the way he talks, the crowd erupted again because they knew exactly what DC meant. People were shouting from the back rows, and you could see heads turning all over the room like everyone was replaying their own memories of Ross doing the same thing. Ross tried holding his chain, adjusting it like he needed something to keep his hands busy, but that only made him look more uncomfortable. He fired back with, "You don't know what you're talking about," trying to sound firm. But DC didn't waste a single second answering him. He pointed at the entire crowd and said, "Everyone here knows what I'm talking about." And the whole place responded like they'd been waiting for someone to say it out loud for a long time. That line sent the whole room into straight chaos. People jumped out of their seats, screamed, and reacted like a huge wave hit the crowd all at once. Ross froze for a split second, like the reaction hit him even harder than DC's words, and he looked unsure where to even look next. The energy in the building felt wild, not angry, not goofy, just real in a way you don't see often. It didn't feel like two entertainers going back and forth for views. It felt like years of small moments boiling over in one explosive minute, and everyone watching knew they were seeing something that wasn't planned at all. The internet caught fire instantly. As soon as the clip spread, people started breaking it down like detectives, replaying Ross's facial expressions, studying DC's body language, and trying to figure out what pushed DC past his limit. Some said DC was standing up for the culture. Some said Ross said something slick backstage. Others claimed DC was tired of the image Ross keeps presenting everywhere he goes. Either way, the clip hit millions in just hours, and the theories started flying non-stop. Security began moving in, not to break DC and Ross apart, but to keep the crowd under control because people were standing on chairs, rushing forward, and trying to get the best angle of the showdown happening right in front of them. Backstage sources even said Ross asked his team if he should dip out for a minute, but they told him staying would make him look stronger. But that didn't help at all. Every move Ross made looked shaky next to DC's energy, and the crowd could feel it. DC wasn't ranting randomly. He was calling out patterns and behaviors people had whispered about for years, but never confronted Ross about directly. That's why the room felt so charged, because DC was saying things folks had been discussing behind the scenes forever, and Ross was forced to face it all right there under the lights. Ross tried to laugh it off and change the topic, but DC hit him with another sharp line. "Stop acting like you built half the stories you tell," and the entire room went wild all over again. People were dropping their phones, screaming, grabbing their friends like they couldn't believe someone said that out loud with Ross standing right there. That one line turned into countless memes within minutes. Reaction clips, edits, captions, everywhere you looked, people were replaying it like it was the moment of the night. And even when things cooled down a little, the tension stayed heavy across the room. DC stepped off stage for a second, and the crowd followed him with loud cheers like they were riding with him no matter what happened next. Ross stayed behind trying to fix the vibe, but the room wasn't feeling him at all. People were side-eyeing, whispering, replaying DC's words, and you could literally feel the shift in how folks looked at Ross now. Some people felt a little sympathy, while others said it was long overdue. But either way, the whole room felt different. And when DC walked back out to finish the show, the crowd exploded with a roar that made it obvious whose side they were on. By the time the live stream wrapped up, the only thing anybody could talk about was DC Young Fly standing 10 toes down and speaking with a level of honesty nobody expected. And whether Ross wants to act like the moment didn't shake him, the reaction from the crowd and the entire internet made it clear that this hit way deeper than some regular backstage disagreement. If you made it this far, hit that like button, drop a comment, share this video, and make sure you subscribe so you never miss the next update. I'll see you in the next video.